Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet and of YouTube, and welcome back to Ringlight Fables. I am your host and game master, Skijaramaz, otherwise known as Tone Shift, and with me today we have our full cast of players, shockingly all early, starting with SepiaWolfe playing Tuki Fletcher, our Crovan rogue. Sepia, that is your cue.
I said hello.
It didn't come through, apparently.
It was just so sneaky. It was just a very sneaky.
We have Mick playing Boron, our half-dwarven battlemaster.
Salutations.
We have Willyzin playing Ludviek, our Rythari paladin.
Today is a good day.
We have Goldwyn playing Minnove, our kobold bard.
Hello there.
And last but certainly not least, we have Impulsive playing Kari, our Crovan bard. Impulsive,
Beautiful
that is your
sounds.
cue.
Dang it! It did. I made the swooshy noise you told us to do, and I guess my mic didn't pick it up.
Swooshy noise? What?
Because you said I need you guys to.
No, I was saying shush.
I know, but you didn't say that, so I just figured you wanted us to make some noises.
Woo! Anyway.
Noise suppression working.
Yep. You know, next time what you could do is you could just turn your microphone sensitivity all the way up and just decide to, do some stupid sound effects like what you hear at a drive-thru when they're talking really, really way too close to the mic and it's like...
Now you're just sounding like Pink Floyd's The Wall.
I don't know what that means.
Uncultured swine.
Yes, anyways, so, where last we left off, our newly formed party of adventurers wrapped up their remaining obligations in the village of Lambsong, being paid a healthy stipend by the town's mayor for bringing Jaka and his gang to justice and unveiling their machinations, and also being entrusted with a letter to be delivered to the commander of the garrison and patrols in the general region in the city of Antarine, which is the home city of Minnove, as it so happens. Following this meeting, there was just some general wholesome chatter as people were getting ready to go. Farewells said to the young man Percy in the town, who the party had formed sort of a very sort of protective relationship with in the short time they had known the young kid, which makes sense. They went out of their way to rescue him. But with all of their remaining supplies purchased and farewell said, they put Donal on an ass and set off traveling west for the city of Antarine. And eventually they did arrive at it, where Minnove quickly took the lead, navigating the streets of her childhood with absolute ease, introducing the party to the basic premises of the city, the vast wealth inequalities that exist between the upper and lower classes, a degree of very subtle and downplayed smuggling operations hidden just out of sight, but otherwise a very wealthy city that sees a lot of foot traffic both from within and without the borders of the Catamacy of Valrive. Eventually bringing the party to an inn and tavern known as the Blue Butterfly, where she introduced everyone to a close friend of hers named Robert Tomaril, or Uncle Bob as she calls him. This jovial gentleman was happy to give the party a slight discount for their time here on account of their friendship with Minnove, while Minnove just gets to stay here for free because she basically grew up here. The party took a chance to chat, get caught up on a few things, learn a little bit more about each other, and were then introduced to a improbable yet still extant dwarven beverage called water, with a capital W, and basically everyone in the party, with the exception of Donald, decided to take a shot of it, and everyone except for Boron who took that shot wound up passing out in rather comedic fashion, leaving Boron alone to cover their tab and get everyone sequestered away to their rooms. And for the sake of the funsies and to not spend too much time on random trivialities, that is where we're going to pick up the following morning. So, all of you find yourselves in your respective inn rooms coming to awareness. With just the worst goddamn hangovers. Your heads are pounding. It's extraordinarily uncomfortable. But you are otherwise awake, aware. It appears to be a bright day outside. Sun shining down as it climbs up. The day is yours.
My head.
Turn off the sun.
Where's the washroom?
What did you expect? You had water.
I thought it was water, not water.
You were warned in advance of what it was, Minnove. You have no excuse.
I was very much warned in advance, but
People do this stuff, man.
oh, yes, surprisingly. Oh, not this part, the other part, the part that we completely skipped.
I don't even remember that part.
No, that's the fun part. This is the hell part. Oh.
I think I'm going to throw up.
No, don't throw up on my feet there. Stop it.
Kari, Constitution save. I'm joking. Don't do it.
Guys, no, I'm doing it. Oh, I forgot to actually open the game.
Top form, ladies and gentlemen. We are in top form.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I was gonna try and see if she could flag down Rob. Uncle Bob.
You are upstairs, I will say. You're sort of in the upstairs.
Where's Uncle
rooms.
Bob? Where's Uncle Bob? She looks around.
He's probably downstairs.
Yes, I don't throw up.
You do not throw up. Correct.
Yes.
You, Minnove, I won't necessitate a roll for this from you. You would know, having spent as much time here as you have, that chances are high that Uncle Bob is probably somewhere downstairs tending to his customers.
Oh, that means I have to move. Oh, shit. Alright. I'm gonna hop out of bed. Just
All right.
crawl
Yeah,
down the stairs.
So you kind of flop out of bed. Imagine from downstairs through the floorboards, someone just kind of hears, "Oh," after that thud.
I'd say I feel it in the morning, but I'm feeling it in the morning already.
By the way, I had to pay for you.
Boron, you are such a... Oh, I can't come up with any witty. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll repay you in kind someday.
Very nice.
How much was it?
money.
Yes, how much money was it?
I have no idea, Skijaramaz. Deducted it.
I sent you the numbers.
It was on
Did?
our tab.
Oh, damn it. I missed that.
Yeah. It's a chunky number. Mostly because of the water.
I didn't get it somewhere. Oh well.
Yeah, it's in our DMs.
Okay.
Message opens with, without boring you with all the technical details,
Yeah.
the cost came out to so-and-so.
Okay. Yeah, it was just a couple of gold coins.
Shh,
It's
not
okay.
so loud. Not so loud. Turn it down.
That's a ripoff.
While you're all talking, you just hear over in the corner this combination of a snore and a slight purring. And you
Can-
just see that Ludviek is apparently half off the bed. Only his feet are on it, and his tail's just switching.
Can
like he's
someone
somehow
turn?
found-
Can someone turn him off?
I think that's called murder.
That's going in out of context. Are we actually drunk right now? We're all so giggly. What the fuck happened?
We're having a good time.
We're having a great time.
The characters aren't having a good time right now, but we are.
Yes, we're
Minnove's
little
gonna
psychopaths.
try
I'm
and
sorry.
stand up properly. And she's like, I'm gonna go see if Uncle Bob has any remedies. I'm sure he's had plenty of visitors and guests that has had this problem. I'll see you all downstairs. Oh,
So,
Right.
It's like every headache I ever had rolled into one, cloned itself.
The clone and then gave me this.
it's worse even than the time you were mugged.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
You're right, when you were mugged, you lost a lot more than a few gold coins. You
I
lost a
lost
lot of
my
gold coins.
I lost my identity.
We're not doing this for money. We're doing this for a shitload of money. Anyway. Thank you, Spaceballs. So, Minnove, staggering downstairs, sort of half staggering, half wobbling, half slug sliding, you eventually emerge into the common room of the Blue Butterfly. You see only a handful of people in here at the moment, enjoying a quick breakfast before they scarper off to their various morning jobs and tasks. The hearth is burning fairly low, only casting a small degree of warmth throughout the interior space, sort of slightly dusty shafts of sunlight piercing in through the front windows. Your eyes sort of pick up Donald, sort of occupying one of the tables and enjoying what looks to be a breakfast of eggs and bacon with some bread off to the side. And you see Uncle Bob currently behind the counter going over what looks to be a ledger.
Minnove, very, very carefully covers like the sides of her eyes, kind of like how horses have those like
Blinders. Yeah.
blinders. And she walks and she's like, oh, the light is too loud. Oh. And she hops up on the bar stool next to Donald and looks at him and is like, looks like you're having a great morning. Oh,
I am actually. This is the best meal I've had in weeks.
told ya. Best and... Oh.
Just slides you a glass of water. Normal water.
Minnove looks at it very suspicious, like, very, like, eyes it, looks at him, looks back at the water.
What do you need
Thank
proof?
you. No, I trust you. Thank you.
Problem was proof last time.
She takes it and she starts sipping.
It is.
Ugh.
It is cool. It is refreshing. It is dreadfully insufficient, but it is refreshing.
Oh my god. That's... What kind of water is this? This is so nice. Uncle Bob, I have a question.
I might have an answer there, little one. What you got?
So, is there any sort of remedy or anything of the sort that you might be able to spare? Good old, oh.
Well, when it comes to remedies to hangovers, I find that really greasy food tends to settle my stomach a bit, but as for the rest of it, time, patience.
Oh no.
I know you're not so good with either of those things. Comes with being so young, eh?
It's so long.
Right? Well, the other thing I could recommend is maybe swing by a Sunan temple and ask them to do something, but...
We have a don't yell. we have a Sunan upstairs.
That's true.
Maybe.
That is true, we do. He cured you from being drunk one time.
Yeah, he did.
You called him a bastard.
Oh, I was wrong. I'll never do it again. Oh, I have some regret. I'll carry his luggage for him. This is what we call karma, Uncle Bob. Don't talk shit, and then you're gonna repay it in full force.
No, trust me, I've been alive a lot longer than you, kiddo. I know. I know, trust me. I know. Tabitha still won't let me live it down.
Oh. Don't make me laugh. Alright, could I order 5, I'll pay, 5 greasy breakfasts. Like just put the bacon grease, just put it on. Don't drain it, just put it on.
5 super greasy meals.
Yes.
Some basic breakfasts. Sure, I can do that.
Oh, you're a sweetheart, Uncle Bob.
I'm your uncle. It's my job to look after you, remember? And he, ruffles, the space between your horns.
Not so fast, not so fast.
Just kind of, slows down a bit and just kind of starts, uses,
brain
his index and middle finger to just, draw a line up your snout to, between your eyes and between your horns.
My brain is very loose right now.
Maybe you should go see your Sunan while I'm cooking you breakfast, then.
That's a great idea. See, this is why you're the one that runs the business. And she hops down, and she starts very sluggishly doing the exact same thing of walking back up the stairs.
It's a lot slower this time because these are stairs intended for human height people, which you are not. So you kind of start your ascent. So as you begin your ascent, you just kind of loosely overhear Donna going, "So you're her uncle?" That's what she calls me, at least. Huh. But there's a story behind that. A long one, not mine to tell, before you're out of your shot.
But I'll tell it anyway. So,
Minnove is then gonna go back to the door and look at everybody. Be like, "Wake up, the Rythar. Break him up. Turn him on."
I believe we call that birth.
doesn't hit the same.
I know.
He could save us from this hell. Ugh.
It's not our souls that need saving.
Not so loud. I got Uncle Bob to cook us all really greasy breakfasts. All right. Donald's down there having a gay old time. All right. We need to wake up Ludviek, and he fixed my hangover earlier, or before I got hangover, and I called him a bastard. I didn't mean it.
You guys do that. I'm gonna go down and have breakfast.
Skitch, important lore question that you could dump on us. Does coffee exist?
I'll say that yes, but it has yet to be refined.
That's good enough.
Go eat some beans.
So yeah, like there's coffee, but like people are still kind of figuring out how to do it right. It's one of those things where you're not gonna find that just stocked in any old inn or whatever, because people haven't figured out like adding milk, cocoa, or latte to it yet to make it taste like something you want to drink. So it's mostly used in like novelty places or where it's really needed that you just need a fucking energy surge and some complaining guts.
Fact for everyone listening, coffee is amazing for hangovers.
You want to know what's also good for hangovers? Lay on hands.
Minnove's gonna start patting Ludviek's back. Ludviek. Ow!
And to which he just rolls over and he's mumbling and he just grabs her like a stuffed animal and pulls her close and just rolls over.
Should we help her? Can we help her?
Perhaps if we work together.
It's not choking you, at least. All right, it's just
No, not choking me, but Minnove is very hungover. And being grabbed and jostled into someone's arms.
At the very least, it is a very firm and very warm hug. So if nothing else, you feel secure, if perhaps a little violated.
You know what? This isn't half bad if you ignore the hangover. This is actually quite comfortable.
which then he snores/purrs in your ear, and the rumbling just increases the headache.
Oh, just kill me now.
Wow.
I don't want to do this anymore.
Tuki's gonna try and wake Ludviek.
Alright, should I roll Constitution then to see if I wake up or something, or...?
I mean, if you wanted to stay asleep and keep this joke going until it becomes a dead horse, you can, or you can wake up. I'll leave it at your discretion.
One.
Just one.
Yeah, just one. Alright, I don't know, I know, Tuki, roll an attack in comparison to my Constitution save. Does that sound good?
Or
If
just
Tuki
will
runs-
roll a con save, and if it's higher than a 10, you wake up, I guess.
Alright, cool. Let's leave it up to luck.
Oh, Lady Luck hates
Wow.
me.
You're still... okay.
There we go.
Tuki just smacks him the fuck up.
It just, like, pecks him on the shoulder. She has the beak for it.
Oh, yeah. Ludviek just... Okay, you've partially woken up, and he says... only in Rathiri, though, but what you can catch is the name of Jorna. And him basically saying in Rathiri, Zorna, not now, come on, let's just wait for training for 5 more minutes.
In Raithari, Tuki will respond, that is not me. It's Tuki. Time to get up.
Tuki.
And Minnove.
What is... Oh, my head... He lets out something between a growl and a groan.
Lion
And this
sound.
allows him to release... He basically... Yeah. And he releases Minnove from this, and he's just like... Just shakes himself, realizing he's half off the bed. He's like, what happened?
Water.
Oh, now I remember. Oh,
I don't. I really don't.
I thought it was only tail. I did not realize they... in Rathiri, he basically just says, "Oh, it feels like I've gone toe to toe with the demon of wind itself."
Hey, Ludviek, remember when you stopped me from becoming drunk, and ultimately cured me of my hangover back at Lamsong when I was doing the drinking contest? How much
takes a
gold
while
do
to
I have
respond.
to give you to do it again?
Not matter of gold, matter of concentration.
Can I give him Bardic if he has to make a saving throw?
I won't necessitate a saving throw for this.
Okay.
But it'd be funny.
It would be, but I don't want to beat the joke to death.
It's like, Alright, just mechanically, just so you know, doing this will get rid of lay on hands until another long rest.
I mean, it only consumes some of your lay on hands hit points.
5, yes.
Yeah, and you have 20 of those at your disposal, so you can do this 4 times. So someone's getting left out. Boron probably, because he's okay.
Probably. Alright.
Like, he has a hangover, but it's not as bad as the rest of you.
Yes,
He was conscious to mitigate.
Ludviek struggles up, and he says, "So, it depends. Am I still bastard?"
No, I'm so sorry I've ever called you one. You are not a bastard. You are beautiful, beautiful, absolutely. I will write songs about you, Ludviek, absolutely. I will learn Rathari. I will speak it in such beautiful tongue. Just please.
All right, enough with the enough with the
Turn into
words.
Schwarzenegger for a second.
Sorry.
Off with the world.
Enough with the words. Okay.
Get to the
All right,
chopper,
that's
stop with the
last.
Rathari.
I'm sorry, my cat was distracting me from my accent. All right. Enough with your words. It is fine. Fine. We will go, and we will. Okay. One moment. Myself first, and he does tries to concentrate and do lay on hands on himself to at least get the poison out of his system. Because if he's
Okay.
going to do this, he's going to do this clear-headed.
All right, fair enough. Easy enough. You expend 5 points of lay on hands to regain your clarity, purge yourself of the after effects of the hangover. You still have a bit of a hangover, like a bit of a headache specifically, but the worst of it has passed. You can concentrate, you can focus, you just kind of have like a bit of an ache behind your eyes now.
And all right.
Also,
then
you are terribly thirsty.
yes. Is like to which then Ludviek says, "You do not need to pay. Consider this my repayment, as I was the one who wanted the toast, and I did not quite think it was more than just talk about water.
Enough
I have since learned
hands.
that maybe I should take Dwarven ale a bit more serious in future." And then he goes around and obviously he'd do Minnove, Tuki, and then he would motion to Boron if since he's
Boron
next,
went
if,
downstairs for food.
Kari
Kari is
all right,
the
well,
only. Yeah, Kari's the
then
only
you
other
do-
one up here.
then Kari. Then all right, then he uses up all his points to basically heal everyone in present.
All right.
God.
Oh, Ludviek, remind me never to take advantage of you ever again.
Remind me never to celebrate ever again with dwarven drink.
Deal. Absolute deal. Oh, this feels so great. You all ready to enjoy the day now?
As soon as I have wash, I have taste in back of mouth that cannot stand. Ugh.
All right. So, you head downstairs for some regular well water, some breakfast. just some general unwinding as you get ready for the day that is yours. And I need to actually pause us there for just a second because Grandma needs her meds.
Woo!
Grandma,
Yeah.
your ribs. Dun, 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 dun.
So many funny things that time.
It's amazing what kind of I mean, it's like, it's a good thing someone's got lay on hands, otherwise we'd have to suffer consequences.
Oh no.
The consequences of our actions? Never.
Oh no,
All right,
the
I'm back.
consequences of
Grandma
my
has been
actions.
All right, I'm back.
Look at
Cheers.
Welcome back.
All right, so for everyone to get a nice big greasy meal, or at the very least a greasy ass breakfast, I'm just going to assume, just for like a cheapo like eggs and bacon breakfast, I'm gonna assume like 5 copper per dish.
perfect.
Whoa.
I hand
Alright.
for all the copper to Bob.
So that would be 25 copper, aka 2 silver, 5 copper.
Cool.
All right, so
Copper
Minnove,
not being ignored.
Minnove
right,
covers
so
it.
just-
Everyone's got food. Cool.
Thank you. Man, this is a fantastic morning. Absolutely beautiful.
It is now.
Ugh. So, what's on the itinerary for you all?
Bill, there is that message that needs to be delivered still. And Ludviek pats his side where his bag is. Needs to be delivered to... Oh, who is it again? I wrote it down here. The commander, Lucasine Felix.
Lucasen Farilith.
Paradise. Yes.
No.
He is somewhere the commander of arms in this town. Should be simple enough to find him. Big man
Yeah.
like that.
Simple.
It is
That's a-
for it's for the town of Lamson that they might send some men out there to train a garrison, or at least a town watch.
Militia.
All right, militia. Other than that, After that, I have nothing else.
Well, Uncle Bob, I have a question. Another one.
Yep. What you got?
Do you know any service carriage us out the carriage us to like any how do I word this? Services, wagons that take us to Asmara, or would take lovely folks to Asmara, ideally for better comfort and more of a secured route.
Well, I'm sure that you wouldn't be too much of a problem to probably hire a coach cab. Got a few at the various gates of the city.
How much do you think it would cost?
Like 3 copper pieces per mile, as I recall.
Now, what if I bat my eyes?
You'd have to gamble on them being attracted to kobolds, so probably
Well.
still 3 copper pieces. Sorry, love.
Oh, worth a shot. Either way, I think that would be a good idea to at least help Donald and make the trip for you all. It's quite a long ways away. Might be worth the copper. Or,
Might
I guess
be
the gold.
some sort of caravan that needs to be guarded and could earn some money that way.
That too. There could be some, especially for the trade. There might be even like a tradesman that needs someone to help look after the caravan. But I don't know, just something in style, you know.
Well, It's possible, I suppose. We're a good
Went by
several days.
coach.
We're a good several days travel away from Asmara, though, so it wouldn't necessarily be cheap.
No. No, it really wouldn't. I just really have to bring out my big ol' eyes. Alright. Well, do you know where we can find... She kind of rolls her eyes. The commander.
If you're wanting to talk to our illustrious captain of the guard here in town, aka the regional commander, shouldn't be too hard. You can probably find him coordinating things from the town's garrison. That's closer to the center of the city. There's this big wall that sort of surrounds the Cadam's palace. Various towers sticking out of it. The biggest of those towers houses the gatehouse that leads into sort of the innermost reaches of the city, but you can also find the garrison offices there, so you can bring your report to the command. Anything you need to bring to the commander there. Concerned civilians, they bring whatever concerns they have to the man there all the time. Kind of like
I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that would be the best place to look for the commander then. At least bring it up to him and drop it off and then call it a day.
Well, if you consider yourself a good trader, you might be able to buy 2 horses and a cart, and we take those and we sell them back in Asmara.
Interesting. Get some mileages out of them, then back. Do you know any stablemen or any might be of that sort there, Uncle Bum?
We do have stables. At each of the main gates.
Probably do that there.
Possible.
Alright, well, with all that said, I guess I will take you all to the center.
All right.
Once we are done eating our food, of course, and not feeling, well, I feel better already.
All right. So then, there's nothing else. Alrighty then. So, with that in mind, you finish up your food. And if I'm understanding the division of labor correctly, Ludviek is going to be heading to the garrison with Minnove to look into the matter of talking to the commander, and Boron is looking into horses.
I don't consider myself to be a good tradesperson.
Gotcha.
If only we knew someone who was good with words, who might be able to get us a good deal.
Kari?
Did someone say someone that was good with words that could get you a good deal?
Why yes!
Yeah.
Do you know such a person, Kari? And Ludviek just, grins at him.
No, I don't.
Oh,
Too bad.
I'm sorry. I was attempting to be what was word?
Koi?
Humorous. Humorous
wait.
was word. Yes.
Wait. Are you making the assumption that just because I can sing and dance, I'm good with words?
Well, you've shown yourself to be a capable individual of swaying people to your side. I figured you might be able to find us good transportation.
It's
I
okay
can't
to
sing
present
and
you it.
dance, and I'm not good with words. So.
Ludviek, I don't think so far the track record that we have of him is pretty good for that. Remember Jaka and the mercenaries?
True, that was him trying to intimidate someone. To be honest, he's not very intimidating. Look at him, very scrawny.
Well, Sorry, Kari. You're very handsome. I love your feathers. Love what you do with your. Anyways,
Thank you. It's actually
maybe
quite an
maybe
intensive
next
morning
time-
routine.
Quite true. Maybe next time you need to instead, I don't know. Maybe you could try being nice to bandits. Have you ever thought of that?
I don't have the best track record with bandits.
True, but that was because you were trying to interrogate them. And also
I
intimidate
wasn't
them.
trying. Well, I wasn't trying to interrogate the ones that stole all my money. Now, was I?
True. Kind of hard to interrogate one who hits you back of head.
I mean, but like you said, you do look like a sack of sticks.
I will also remind y'all, horses are spendy.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the answer is yes, I can do that. I'm done messing with you now. Let's go.
All right.
Ah, so you did get my humor. That is good. That is good.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's do Ludviek and Minnove first. Real quick before we proceed, what is Tuki and Boron doing? Are they just staying at the Blue Butterfly and just resting their legs? I don't imagine Tuki's doing that.
Oh, absolutely not.
It's
That
like,
is heresy.
sitting still. Fuck you.
Oh yeah, like even when even her version of relaxed, like she's usually like bouncing a knee under the table constantly. So I think she would just hang out with Minnove and whoever else she was going with. Is it Kari and Ludviek?
I feel like you were dividing your labor, but if you're not, that's fine.
Because
Ludwig's just making a simple delivery.
Yeah.
Minnove is taking Ludviek to the center, so Tuki's coming with Ludviek and Minnove then.
Is
All right.
Boron coming with Kari, or is this a solo operation?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on Kari.
All right.
Okay,
So then we'll do Boron and Kari second. For now, we got the Beastie Gang.
Beastie Boys.
I mean, I would say Beastie Boys, but like 66.6 repeating percent of that group is women. So.
You could also say 2/3.
Yes, but saying 66.6 repeating percent is funnier. Now, so, stepping out onto the streets of Antarine, your hangovers largely cured and your bellies filled with health food, quote unquote, you make your way towards the beating heart of the city, sort of cutting your way west through this busy market thoroughfare. As the sun climbs a little higher, the thrum of activity through the streets starts to pick up. Various market stalls have opened for the foreseeable future, merchants hawking their wares, shouting to be heard over the hubbub of passersby going about their business. Routine and occasional patrols pass by, some on horseback, some not. It is a very active city, and it almost feels kind of claustrophobic from time to time as you're navigating, just with like the density of the crowds at this sort of hour, especially as time starts sort of slowly creeping towards the period of lunch. But as you sort of approach the center of the city, you do see this imposing sort of, almost like this very well-maintained sort of gray stone wall sort of coming up toward you. You can see the Cadam's Palace rising up behind it, this beautiful structure with sort of domed roofs and the occasional spire here and there. Nothing compared to what one who's been to the Academy City would expect to see there, but still a very impressive structure all the same. Sort of following a wider road toward the northeastern sort of section of the city, you find this sort of somewhat, you would expect wider, but it's somewhat more narrow. The buildings clustered a bit more tightly together. Sort of walk pathway as you make your way towards the largest of the towers surrounding the great keep at the heart of Antarine. And as you come into the gatehouse, you can see that the portcullises are currently raised. There are what appears to be approximately just 8 guards keeping watch, 4 on either side. There is a side door sort of off to the right-hand side of the inside of this gatehouse that has a sort of a 9th guard sort of standing in front of it. The crowds sort of what few people are going in or out, it largely appears to be people who wish to bring concerns or reports, the equivalent of, like, courtiers for nobility in other nations wishing to bring their concerns or things they've noticed to the attention of city administrators or the Cadam himself if he's in session. But you have no business in the palace. Your direction takes you more towards that side door. As sort of or I suppose it would, rather. Who do you want to talk to first? Do you want to just beeline for the door? Do you want to talk to a guard first? What's your play?
I think talking to a guard, just so we don't look like we're gonna like raid the castle.
Well, yes, Minnove. The three of us are going to raid the castle. Very, very astute.
We could be very dangerous, honestly. Look at us.
We'd suck them and take all the riches. Yes.
Anyways, hello there! Hello!
The guard sort of gives your group a look, and sort of a stern-faced gentleman, kind of angular features, and quirks an eyebrow. Well, aren't you a colorful bunch?
We are very colorful. I'm red. She's like a blue sheen, and he's like orange.
I'm green.
Very colorful.
Can I help you with something?
Yes. Sorry. So we have a letter from what was the man's name that you said it was? I never met.
Maureen Days.
Maureen Days. We have a letter from Maureen Days to see the commander regarding Lambsong, the little hamlet, couple miles.
Make a persuasion check for me, Minnove.
Oh, you know it.
$23. All right. The guard seems skeptical, sort of just giving your group a furrowed look, and is like, do you have this letter on hand?
Yes, actually, we've kept it quite safe. Ludviek, would you be so kind and as to give... I'm sorry, what's your name?
Dren.
Dren. Nice to meet you, Dren. I'm Minnove. This is Ludviek, and that's Tuki. Ludviek, would you be so kind as to give Dren here? Just show him the letter.
I produced the letter in hand, making sure to show that the wax seal is still intact.
All right.
That's probably the first thing he'll look at.
All right, he takes it, gives the seal a look, flips it over, studies it for a couple minutes. Alright, this seems legitimate. Going through the door behind me, make your way inside, follow the corridor straight across, don't go down any side paths. At the far end, you'll find a reinforced door. Knock and wait until you're summoned. Deliver your letter, be polite, show respect, and when you are dismissed, you leave. Understood?
Quite graceful. Thank you there, Dren.
Hands the letter back to you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You as well. Enjoy your shift. Hope it's an easy one.
He seems very bored as you're walking away.
We were the highlight of his day. I just know it.
It's a good thing when guard actually has to be bored.
What would you say there, Tuki?
I said memorable at the very least.
Right. So, no, not right. We go straight through the door, no side paths, just to a big reinforced. Right. No. Yes. Let's go.
All right.
But you know, Minnove, if guards are bored, usually means times of peace are quite aplenty. It can be good and bad thing, but mostly good thing.
Times of peace is nice, yes, but a lot of it, like I remember, I can't say it too loud, because we're in the heart of the belly of the beast, some would say. Yes, peace, absolutely. Now come on.
All right. So you pop open the door, step into this sort of long corridor lit at steady intervals by these sort of glass lanterns, flickering flames inside. As you're there are like more reinforced doors sort of along the side and a couple of arched passages heading deeper in. Each of these sort of archways has at least one guard standing at it. You can tell they take security here very seriously. I would actually like each of you to make perception checks as you are walking through.
Passive or active?
Active. Just roll it.
Okay.
Oh, the duality of man.
All right. So a natural 1 from Tuki, a natural 20 from Ludviek, and a 13 from Minnove. So Ludviek will be the primary one to notice this. You see enchanted runes faintly etched into some of the archways, faintly glowing with the sheen of Luma, obscured somewhat by the I don't think crenellations is the right word, but like the ridges where the one hallway sort of transitions to another in the T section. They're like obscured behind that supporting ridge, but you just kind of catch them. You're better than normal eyesight sort of catching it, and you don't necessarily know what the arcane runes say. You can't read the language of enchantment, but you can tell that they're probably fairly potent, given how many runes there are, sort of following the entire curvature of the wall and the ceiling. And likewise, the lanterns that you're passing, you sort of cast your eyes briefly into one as you're walking by, and you realize there's no candle in there. But it is still producing light.
You said those, the runes that I do see, they're incomplete, right?
No, they're complete.
Oh, they're complete.
Like pretty much anywhere where there's an open pathway heading off left or right, there is that full set of runes. You don't necessarily see all of them, and you can't read them, but they are there.
Oh, so through every doorway passage.
Every archway. Not necessarily like doors. Like if it's just like an open intersection, like just a turn off in the hall, there's the runes, but...
Okay, but through archways.
Yeah.
I don't suppose I could I see if I recognize them? I mean, we are walking, so I'm not standing to look at them. I guess I can't, without stopping, look at it in a little more detail.
If you want to see if you recognize what any of these runes do from your very limited knowledge, you could make an Arcana check. I would impose a disadvantage because you only have a few seconds to get your look, though.
All right, well, might as well just see if in passing.
12. I mean, a handful of the runes look familiar, but without a finer, deeper understanding of the language of enchantment, what they mean is a mystery to you.
I make a mental note of it.
Yeah.
All right.
Probably just security measures is what the back of your mind is telling you. Like the deeper layers of the crypt and the catacombs beneath the chapel where you were trained had similar enchantments woven through it at its deeper levels to discourage grave robbers. Now, whether or not those runes do the same thing as these ones is anyone's guess, but runes as security measures is fairly common, at least to your knowledge, in magically inclined places.
All right. I make a not a whisper. I say I was like, they are quite heavily defended in here, not just physically, but magically as well.
Well, it sort of is a capital of trade, this place, Antrine. So I'd imagine there's a lot of security in the guardhouse, in the castle of it.
Well, good to know that we will not have to deal with any of that ourselves.
I'll just be on your best behavior, and no one will give you shit.
All right. So, soon enough, you come to the end of the corridor where the reinforced door awaits you. You see a little plaque sort of nailed into it. It reads, Office of Commander Lucasen Fairlith, do not disturb.
Oh, do we come back later?
Unfortunately, I do believe we just knock and wait.
Minnove does like a little tap tap.
All right.
But her hand, so small.
All right. You give a little tapping knock. Just a moment. You sort of hear from the other side, from a somewhat older sounding, sort of tired voice. You can kind of hear muffled voices on the other side, sort of carrying a conversation back and forth.
He heard me. Oh, that's fantastic.
And then after, I'd say about a minute of waiting, you hear the click of a lock, the door swings open, and this somewhat tired, almost haggard-looking woman, sort of commoner, sort of steps out, sort of, oh, pardon me, and just sort of shuffles past you, walks on her way. And then you hear from inside.
Bye.
All right, next.
Hello there. I am Minnove. This is my entourage. This is Tuki and Tuki Fletcher, and then this is Ludviek and Nush. We are here to deliver a letter from the Mayor of Lamsong.
As you sort of introduce yourself and say these things, make an insight check for me, Minnove.
Rockin'. Insight, where are you? Nope.
All right, you don't catch it. But either way, you see sitting behind the counter, you see this sort of, I'd say like late 30s, early 40s human man with this sort of already graying, sort of silvery hair, sort of kept back out of his face in a ponytail, sort of drapes between his shoulder blades, dressed fairly lightly in his armor for a captain of the guard. You imagine this might be an individual who relies on dexterity more than strength. He has this gnarly scar running down one side of his face, leaving the associated eye milky and white. The other one sort of this chocolatey brown, sort of blinks open wide in surprise at seeing you all. Not every day your folk enter my office. You said you have a letter for me?
Yes. You know, I'm told quite often we are at the start of a bad joke.
I'm sure you are.
She points over to Ludviek. Ludviek, has the sealed envelope.
I pull it out and I nod my head and hand it off to the gentleman.
All right. The commander takes the letter, pops it, unfurls it. I was wondering when they were finally going to ask. All right. Rather a glowing commendation for all of you in here.
I'm sorry.
A glowing commendation. It means he speaks very highly of you.
Oh. Well, that's quite nice. I like being told that I did a good job.
Took down a bandit gang, he says. No small feat. He sort of starts rolling up the scroll. I'll resolve this as soon as I am able. You can rest assured on that.
The people of Lamsong would very much appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Very much appreciated.
I will say, do any of you here have insight, like, as a proficiency?
Yo, I could have as he's talking, just like, just Ludviek's looking at him, see as he's reading the letter.
Okay. I'll say this then, Ludviek. You've gotten fairly decent at reading people. If insight is one of your proficiencies, I'll allow this as a passive. You notice that the man does appear to be somewhat distracted. Like, he's taken the letter, he's read it, he's internalized it, and you don't get any distinction that he might be, like, dismissing it, but his attention does seem to be divided. There's something else that's, like, holding his attention, sort of drawing the attention of his thoughts.
Oh,
and no,
sorry.
It's not the squad that just went marching by outside the door.
All right, well then, to which, after he says that, Ludviek says, if you do not mind, sir, you seem to be... Something seems to be troubling you. Is it perhaps something one of our skill set might be able to assist you with?
He sort of gives you a look and just sort of pops a small smile. Sunan's always eager to help. I appreciate the offer, sir, but it's nothing civilians need to concern themselves with. Just some stress with allocating some of my troops, that's all.
Ah, the woes of being the commander.
It'd be a lot less stressful if this city was the only thing I had jurisdiction over, but no, as it so happens, when you work directly for the Cadam, you have jurisdiction over their entire section. So I have a lot of troops I have to manage. It's a headache.
Oh. Every troop in surrounding hamlets as well?
Technically all fall under my command. I don't command each and every single one on an individual basis. I have delegations for that. Sergeants and lieutenants and the like.
It is quite a number of men to manage.
I can only imagine the sort of frustration Laura has to deal with. But yes. Thank you for bringing this to me. But I have duties to which I must attend. Leave me to them.
Ludviek bows politely.
Minnove kind of like eyes him up and is like, all right, well, bye.
All right. So
As we're leaving, I turn to Tuki and say, "So, Tuki, the first time you've ever been inside a garrison such as this?"
I'll take that as a yes.
No.
oh, there she is.
Oh. You always say you have traveled quite a long distance. I thought for once I might be able to find something you actually had not seen before. But it appears I'll have to keep on looking.
Well, at least in my hometown, I may or may not have been thrown in the brig more than once.
Ah. You were a mischievous youth, then?
Just an easy target.
Oh. My condolences. It must not have been easy with, well, your type of yearning.
No. It was because of that I developed the skills that I have now.
Trials of our youth do grow us into the people we are today.
Ain't that the truth?
Well, with this, I would say my current duties in this town are complete. Now the question is, what do we do now?
Well, could meet up with Kari and Boron and see what they're doing, or we can enjoy entering a little bit longer, you know. Could show you all my little nooks here.
I'd be interested.
I as well. Don't
All
tell
right.
us around, Goldwyn. Yeah, my brain.
Please, please, please.
Minnove.
Please. That's my player name.
That's my stage name.
That's my stage name. Because they
thanks.
throw the gold and I win.
So a little bit too much into the veil there. Alright.
Alright.
Yes,
yes.
Minnove, lead the way. Show us your lovely town. Surely you
Absolutely.
know all the amazing spots.
Well, I know all the cheap spots.
Even
That's-
better.
Alright. So, with that, you make your way out of the garrison and back out into the streets of Antarine, where Minnove starts to give you a tour of the surrounds. And as she is doing that, we are going to pan over, sort of cutting away, and refocus our attention on Kari and Boron heading for the various stables near the gates of the city. Doesn't really matter which one.
Probably the one in the north.
Probably, yeah. So you make your way for the northern gate, where the green gate it's called, sort of passing by an abundance of merchant shops and stalls, even more than the ones you passed over in the glistening quarter. Sort of not terribly far away from the gates, you see this high-roofed, sort of very long building with sort of a mostly wooden structure, but reinforced with stone that you imagine to be the stables. Sort Sort of has like this sort of, almost like you see like a line of like chariots and carts and wagons sort of arrayed to its side, sort of tied very tightly via chain to like reinforced iron poles sort of speared into the ground. You get the impression that these are like the carts and wagons that are for sale. As you're approaching, you see a dwarven individual just tending to one of the horses as you're sort of approaching. This majestic golden-furred little beast, and he's cleaning its horseshoes.
So we're probably gonna need at least one draft horse and a large cart. Or medium cart.
All right.
I know a bit about horses and I know a bit about carts. So,
All right.
but I'm not good at talking.
I see. Well, let me do all of that, and you can sit back and relax.
Mm-hmm.
With that, Kari is going to approach the person doing the horse tending and say, "Hello there."
Sort of looks up. Oh, hello. What can I do for you?
Me and my dwarven friend here are in the market for a draft horse and a cart of medium size.
He sort of looks up at you for a second, Kari, then looks past you at Boron. Boron, could you just roll me a flat 1d20, please?
Uh-oh. Those are always the worst. Where's the d20 there?
10.
At
Kind
average 10.
Kind of eyes you up and down for a second. Right, well, he doesn't make any other comment. You get the impression he noted your half-dwarven nature, but has not commented on it. Turns back to his horseshoes for a second. Right, well, if you're looking for a cart, medium size, I could probably get you one of those, about 15 gold pieces. As for a horse, got plenty in here that, you can grab. Some of them are for being just stabled here, mind you, but could probably get you, I don't know, what you looking for? Draft horse, you said?
That's what I said.
Well, he sort of gestures up at the horse whose he's currently treating. I got this little fancy bastard right here, actually, as a matter of fact. You kind of give the horse a look. It's a tall and slender animal, very much sort of like this sort of very bright, almost like sort of blonde coat, very short fur, with this majestic blonde mane that just kind of drapes down to one side. To kind of pull upon a childhood reference, it would be kind of like if you took Applejack and Hugh shifted her fur like a few shades brighter.
Okay.
And like got rid of the ponytail stuff.
Okay. So something like a Palomino draft horse mix, probably is what it sounds like.
I guess. I don't know horse breeds.
Okay. Cursed be having a mother who's a horse girl. So, but I'm not there, so I should stop commenting.
Yeah, he sort of just gestures up at the horse. Had her in here for a while now, but no one's bit yet.
Interesting. And then, were you about
I'll
to say something?
take a closer look at the horse and check it out if it would be able to pull a cart that is of that.
All right. Make for me a nature check, Boron.
A nature check? I thought animal handling. Okay.
Actually, you know what? That's fair enough. Animal handling. I always forget that skill exists.
Yeah. Hooray.
7.
Ugh.
Oh.
Well, you're not under any pressure at the moment. And you did say earlier you have some experience working with horses, so if this horse has any major issues, you're not seeing them, at least on the outside, seems competent, seems capable, seems well built. Maybe a little restless, the way she keeps shifting around her weight. Occasionally,
Okay.
jerks her hoof away a bit before the stable master's like, oh, come on, girl, there we go. Just, come on.
Aha, but what if I say I take
Oh,
the
no.
help action?
I mean, it's too late. The roll's been made. Good shot, but too
I
late.
see.
Once I
They-
described the outcome, the window of opportunity has passed.
You do
Makes
have bardic.
sense. Too bad.
Yeah, but I wanted the 22.
Anyway, so...
Yeah.
So generally speaking, the horse seems alright. Maybe a little restless, but otherwise seems fine.
And how long-
I'm just a little taken back by the nobody's taken to her yet comment.
So how long have you had this horse here?
A couple of months.
A couple of months.
Yeah,
I'll
last-
take a look around and see if I can find any other draft horses.
You look around and there's a fair few. You got an assortment of different draft and a few riding horses scattered around, various different colorations.
So, tell me, if it's been a couple of months, well, what seems to be the issue then?
I think people are just a little put off by the fact that she's a wee bit unruly. As you can see, she kind of tucks her hoof back away from his hands again. As you can see, she's not always agreeable. That makes some people reluctant to take her for a spin. The thing is, I've had her for a while. She's a sweetheart. She just doesn't like people touching her hooves. But you gotta keep them clean. You gotta keep the horseshoes on. She's a restless one, you know. I joke sometimes that I think she might have been a Crovan in an old life, because I swear this damn mare's got the yearning or something.
Well, I may know a thing or two about that.
Right. Sorry, didn't mean to touch something sensitive for you.
Oh, please, if I was offended by something as minute as that, I wouldn't get anything done now, would I?
I suppose not. I'm sorry. I just know that it can be a sensitive subject for some of your folk.
You're a very apologetic person, aren't you?
Just trying to make a good impression. Also, I am a wee bit distracted, because she jerks her hoof away again. She won't let me clean her hooves!
Have you tried asking
How about-
nicely?
How about I'll take the help action for him
To help
by
him
in
clean the
cleaning,
horse's hooves.
yeah, and
Alright.
see if I can get along with the horse.
Sure. Because I don't have a stat block for this guy, I'll let you make the roll.
Okay.
Animal handling at advantage.
Huzzah.
12.
No. Ugh. Oh well.
Thank God, though.
It could have been better.
Have you tried asking her?
I mean, horses don't talk.
Okay, so here, I have a
Oh, no.
silly idea. All right, Skidge, are you ready for this?
You're gonna cast Speak with Animals, aren't you?
No. That would be the sensible thing to do.
He does
Oh!
ventriloquism.
See, here's the thing that you seem to have forgotten. This is what we in the industry call the guessing game of. Kraven have this fun ability, you see, where they're, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. mimicry.
Your ability to just.
So he's going. He's basically going to try and speak horse and see what happens.
Okay.
Try being the operative word.
Wait, let me.
Well, I've seen Willy do that, or Ludviek do that, and he just spoke normally. So I'm interested how this turns out.
Make for me, Kari, an animal handling check.
Uh-huh.
Roll it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say more.
6.
Uh-oh.
So you start making horse noises at this horse. And she startles because you're not supposed to make horse noises. So, you start making like little lightweight sort of just a couple of sounds, and this horse is like, just like rears back and backpedals a few steps, and the poor dwarf's like, sort of like lurches forward as like he had his hands on her hoof, and she suddenly lurched back, and the momentum just drags him along, and he just face plants into the dirt. Oh.
Maybe asking him to go be the deal maker was a bad idea.
And this is where
I'm just figuring that out.
Going to rush forward, help pick this dwarf up and brush him off and say, "Oh, I am so terribly sorry that happened. Are you okay?
I am in pain.
What hurts?
My chin.
Well, that won't do, would it?" And we're just gonna cast Healing Word.
Okay. So you
chin up.
Yep, so you sort of reach down, sort of tap your ring stone in your pocket a couple times, utter a few arcane words, a few silvery threads of Luma sort of weave in and out of his chin. He's like, itch, oh. And then you hear like this, oh! Huh! Alright. What the fuck you do to me?
Well, you said your chin hurt, so I thought I would see what I could do about that.
He sort of turns to you, and you notice, like, you hadn't sort of clocked this, but like, you notice that like his nose had been somewhat crooked, and now it's straight. You fixed my nose?
Yes, I have. Apparently, I didn't even notice anything was wrong.
Side effect.
Huh.
Doesn't that mean he can smell the stable better now?
Kind of takes a little whiff of like, I need to get flowers in here. No, wait, never mind. The horses would eat them. Do horses do that, or is that just an MLP thing that they did for the gaffs?
No, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, horses eat daffodils and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Those are more weed.
Horses eat just about anything that you leave lying around.
Horses eat birds.
Plastic bags, no problem.
In Australia, horses eat other horses.
My mom's
but
horse.
that's Australia. That doesn't count.
If a horse tastes blood, you have to put the horse down, because then the horse will want more blood.
Is this true?
This is absolutely true.
That is scary.
Anyways.
My mom's old horse loved eating lupins. Little purple plants that like sticks and whatnot.
You said lupin, and my first thought went to the race of wolf people in my Chronicles of Eno setting.
No.
Horses, natural predator to the lupin, who are in turn a natural predator of chocobos.
Hey, man. Big, muscly, scary equine on stick legs that kick hard, you know.
Anyway.
There's a reason that wolves mess with them in packs.
So, Right, well, yeah, I don't know. She, I don't know what you said, but either you spooked her or she just isn't in the mood to talk.
Let me try that again.
No,
I
we
don't-
don't try that again. You know what? Make us good price and we'll take her.
Well, he sort of looks up at her for a second, sort of gives her neck a few pats and shushes her a few times, sort of helping her calm her shit. Normally a horse like her, run about 50 gold pieces, but I've had her a while. No one seems to friggin' want her. And she's restless as all hell, so if you're willing to get her out there and get her running, I'd be willing to let her go for 10 less than that for 40.
That sounds good to me.
No,
Yep, enough of that.
Boron.
Will do.
Boron, what are you doing? That's my job.
Okay.
How about this? What about, as a thank you for helping you out there with your nose and chin situation, we knock another 5 gold off and say 35.
Make a persuasion check for me. And I'll let you do it with advantage because you're making a solid point there with the helping thing. 26. Okay. All right, so the guy strokes his beard a couple of times, like, you know what? Sure, screw it. As far as I'm concerned, we probably would have taken about that much to get the Sunan at the temple to do the healing. So we'll just count that as part of the expense then. All right. Sort of.
Very much appreciated. Thank you.
Right. I'll need a little bit to get her saddled up. You also want a wagon, you said.
Yes.
All right, that's a different charge. That's 15 gold for one of those if you just want a regular old cart.
I got proficiency with land vehicles and also gonna take a look at that.
All right. I mean, I'll save you some time. If you have proficiency, I won't necessitate a roll here. Going down the line and looking at the carts and the wagons, they're not like luxurious masterworks or anything. You know, this is like a common person's stable for like regular travelers, messengers, and regular merchants and travelers. But they appear sturdy, well made. The axles don't look like they're likely to break. They've all got a spare couple of wheels sort of strapped to the sides.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I'll take a look at it and I'll choose one that seems appropriate for us.
All right.
And I'll... Okay. Okay, I'll... Half of you, half of me.
Maybe
Kari?
take this for a test drive.
It's okay.
Boron.
It's okay.
No, that's a joke. Okay, all right. Yes, I think half and half would be good.
Okay.
Is that both the horse and the cart, or just the cart?
We also kind of got a donkey to sell.
Oh, yes. Do you want a donkey?
A donkey.
Yes.
I got
It
a
is.
expensive.
It is polite. It is well traveled. It does not mind passengers, and it does carry a load
With saddle.
with the saddle.
Well, I mean, maybe. Thing is, I don't get a whole lot of use out of donkeys up here. Not many people in the city do. I could probably resell it off to a farmer out in the outskirts, maybe.
Even then, it could probably help you with your own business around here. Sure, these horses can pull a larger load, but Does a horse really fit well through most of the city streets?
You would be surprised. People hear the and they get out of the way. I mean, if you're wanting to sell me a donkey, I could probably take it off your hands for a couple gold pieces.
That's good.
Give me a number.
2.
3.
It's up for it.
With saddle.
Make a persuasion check. Like, if it's coming with the saddle, then fine. 3.
And we'll just call it a discount from the price of the cart, shall we?
Yeah, that's...
Might as
A
well.
trade.
All right. Fair enough, I suppose. All right, so that is 35 for Horsey, who needs a name. 15 for cart, and subtract 3 for giving up the ass. So that brings the total to 48, I believe.
How could you take Donald's ass?
All right, so now here's what we're going to do. We're going to cast Comprehend Languages, and then we're going to try to ask the horse what's its name. I know he doesn't speak horse now, but he'll understand horse, and he was going to ask the horse what its name is.
I don't think that's how that works. The horse must first speak a language? Does it say in the spell that you can understand what an animal?
No. Presumably. Okay. Hang on. If you can cast Speak with Animals, that means animals speak languages, okay?
Speak with animals is a means of bridging the language barrier that exists between beasts and people. It's like a mental connection that allows the transfer of concepts, ideas, and rudimentary communications.
There are some beasts that have their own language, which means that you could cast Comprehend Languages on them, like
very few parrots.
Giant elk.
Okay.
Giant elk is listed under languages on its stat sheet.
Well, as it is, I am pretty sure a giant horse doesn't speak a language that would fall under the umbrella of Comprehend Languages.
All I'm saying is it's the only thing it doesn't decode are secret messages in a text or glyph format. That's all I'm saying.
It requires a language to decode.
Okay.
This horse doesn't speak a language. This horse chuffs at you. Chuffs, snorts, burbles, and whinnies. If you want to speak actively with the horse, you need Speak with Animals. If Comprehend Languages could carry that weight, there would be literally no point in having Speak with Animals as a spell that would exist in this rule set. It would be redundant.
So the horse doesn't have a name yet, or do we choose that?
Well, her owners originally had a name for her when they dropped her off, called her Butterscotch, but if you want to give her a different one, you can.
Well, I think that fits.
She's got the right color palette for it.
See, I just wanted to do that to avoid anyone else just giving her a stupid name like Ass.
To be fair, you only gave the donkey the name Ass because it's a donkey.
I gave it the name Donkey.
Donkey!
And somebody else called it differently. Oh well.
I think that somebody else is me.
Yes.
And me.
You're correct. Also correct. Okay. I'll see that everything's taken care of, and we'll pick it up in soon.
Sounds good to me. I'll get a saddle for you. Lovely doing business with you.
Right. Okay, then I guess we'll return to the Blue Butterfly.
Indeed. So, with that, everyone makes their way back to the Blue Butterfly, reconvenes. I'd say it's like the height of the lunch hour at this point as you're reconvening in the tavern. No music at present, but that won't stop me from putting on the tavern music playlist. But yeah, there's an active crowd around, people enjoying a good lunch before they get back to their work for the day. Donald is still there. Looks like he's currently taking the process of like doing laps around the room, sort of keeping one hand on the wall. Looks like he's trying to get some strength back in his legs.
No, Donald, we got a cart and a horse.
Oh, really? Good. I enjoyed riding the donkey, but boy, do you have a smell.
That's, oh well.
Spent as long underground as I did, and all the smells of the world above start, they're all new to you again. I now know why they call it...
How long did you spend there?
Good couple of months before you showed up.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Like I said, I was the first one to solve her stupid little game. That made me a trophy to be kept. Yeah.
Anyway, when are we gonna get going?
I'm just waiting on you guys.
Not usually one to be restless or having anything, but I kind of want to get out of the city.
Yes,
Minnove comes in and is like, "Aye, all right. Here we are at the last stop of the grand tour of Antarine, of all my favorite places in this village, in city.
Big city.
Very big, big
what
city.
would you consider a city if this is a village?
Well, my nooks were quite small. Hello. I take.
Hey there.
Ludviek comes in right after her, finishing off her thought. Is like, yes, there are quite many nooks, but the places I could never fit, even when I was younger.
Very small, very small.
I see.
Anyway, we got a horse, we got a cart, and we're ready to get going.
Oh, so it went well?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, nothing happened at all that was noteworthy.
Transportation. And already want to set out again. You're very eager to get going, aren't you, Boron?
Why so?
Well, I don't know.
I feel like you do know, though, Boron.
Maybe.
It is true, the sooner we get to the city, the better, the less time we have to worry about it. And I'm sure you, Donald, are very much wanting to be back with your family after so long.
Yes, I can only imagine that they've convinced themselves I'm dead.
Ha!
They probably split your belongings already.
Boron!
I don't know about that. I mean, it's possible, I suppose, but my mother is obnoxiously sentimental, and my father is obnoxiously stubborn, so...
I see.
Yes.
Have you been able to figure out about how long you were stuck down there?
Like I said to Boron a minute ago, couple months, I think. Probably longer, I don't have an exact time frame, but it was a while. long enough for, for me to lose all strength in my damn legs and all my other body parts.
I mean, to be fair, I haven't seen someone in quite a few years at this point, and I think they're still alive out there somewhere.
Well, either way, whatever they think, I'll be happy to put the record straight. And sleep in my own bed, have a nice bath.
A bath sounds really nice.
And get a damn haircut. I have discovered, I'm sure you noticed, and he kind of pats his very patchy beard, I have discovered that I do not possess the dexterity needed to be a barber, especially upon myself. I'm pretty sure I cut like a scrap of skin off when I was trying to do that. It did not go well.
Oh, Tuki, I see you with your finger stuff and the horseshoes.
What is barber?
Someone who cuts hair.
You wouldn't know, I'm sorry.
And styles it. He sort of points at your mustache. You have a fantastic mustache. I assumed you had a barber.
No, this is all natural.
I don't believe you, but I am not knowledgeable enough on your species to argue the point.
Sorry, I was even told that, bro.
Anyway.
I don't need a
Tuki,
barber.
do you think you would be able to do a quick bob on him on the way down to the Asmara?
I'd be happy to try.
I'm not
Just
sure
me.
it would be advisable in the back of the wagon, but...
Oh, that's just the fun part, though, Donald. You don't understand.
Look.
You don't even have hair.
What?
Wow.
I mean, he's got your
You
number
got
there.
scales.
Somewhere on the other side.
The blasphemy that they're saying to me right now.
Who are you saying that to?
Say all you want.
Uncle Bob.
Uncle Bob just kind of pokes his head up over the crowds like, no, they've kind of got your number. Also, maybe don't make that sound in the middle of a crowded space, eh?
Oh. Right.
It sounded like rather something else.
I mean, well,
I feel like I'm missing something.
this, Tuki, I'll tell you
You know
when
when you're
older.
older.
He's an adult.
But and then Ludviek just looks at Minnove and just says, I believe the term is jinx.
Yeah. Yes.
Point stands. Maybe when we're camped for a night, I'd be happy to get a haircut, but not when we're in motion, eh?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, look, if we hit one stray rock when she's holding a sharp blade to my scalp, I'd rather not be scalped, you know?
That's funny.
As would I, because I would have to fix that.
And that would
That's
be
funny
extremely...
wordplay there, Donald.
And that would be extremely awkward for everyone and painful for me. I'm not sure I'd survive the shock of it, to be perfectly honest with you.
I mean, you did survive.
Tuki does
months.
3d6 sneak attack.
That's only when it's intentional.
Or when it's funny for me to prompt it. But anyway.
Well, I mean, Donald, you were in a and from what I've heard, you were in a prison for a couple of months, atrophying. So
I was in an underground torture dungeon for a good couple of months. Yes, it was extraordinarily unpleasant.
a little scalping can't hurt.
It very much can. Do you have any conception of how sensitive the scalp is? It is one of, if not the most sensitive parts of a human body.
Well, I don't know if you know this, Donald, but as it's been so obviously pointed out, I don't really have a scalp.
I mean, you have a scalp, you just don't have hair.
Well, I have a scalp, but it's all scales. It's a scalp.
You know what we could do? We could get you a wig.
I'd look great in a wig. I'd look fantastic.
I mean, it would depend on the wig.
I mean, I feel like every color would go with my eyes. Make it look even more dashing.
Less your eyes, more your scales. It's gotta match, you know? If you're gonna be putting on a wig, you might as well go the extra mile and make it aesthetic, you know?
You know what? Very fair, very fair. I don't think I could pull off Ludwig's hair color. Too much.
I think it's just right, he says as he just strokes his beard thoughtfully.
Then you sort of just stroke the mane under your chin.
Minnove then puts her like hand up towards like trying to reach and like color match it. Yeah, no, it's too much red on red. Either or. We should probably get some supplies before we truly head off. I don't want to bug Uncle Bob for those since it is rush hour. So
Do we know how long it would take to reach with the cart and horse rather than, since we are no longer using... Unless, do you still have that Tuki you had? He turns to Boron and Kari with that question.
Well, it stands outside.
Oh, that was yours!
Now outside the gates. That wasn't ours.
Oh. I
No
thought it was
wonder I
quite
said-
small.
It's large enough for us.
I meant the one that's not outside, but alright.
all right, well, since we all are planning on heading out pretty soon there, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna see if I can haggle some rations for the travel, at least several days.
I will tell you, I'm not too concerned about things like travel rations or ammunition in these games. So
Cool.
we're welcome to just say that you keep yourselves up to stock. Unless you find yourselves like stranded out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere very far away from civilization for a prolonged period of time, you can safely assume that you have provisions.
Fantastic. Because I was
Well,
actually
that was
keeping
good.
track of my arrows.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned about like regular ammunition. If you find yourself in possession of enchanted arrows, which is extremely unlikely, but if you do come into possession of enchanted arrows, I would expect you to track those individually.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Makes
Infinite
sense.
javelins.
Your javelins
Either
are
or.
a bit more specific. I assume you just retrieve them. I assume you're just retrieving them. But yeah.
Okay.
Either or.
Like you can't use them more than the number of times that you have of that item in a given encounter, but I generally assume that you just retrieve your ammo after an encounter is over. Just keep
Hey,
it
100%. Understood.
Well, with that, anything else you all want to do in Antarine while we're here?
There was not a, dang it. Sorry, I'm trying to remember the word. There wouldn't be a chapel to Suna in this town, would there not?
There is. I can
Hmm.
take you to it if you'd like.
I
There's a-
would just like to make a small pilgrimage there just before we leave. You could just tell me where it is. I just want to make sure he makes the pilgrimage there just to do a prayer.
Alright.
Passing through. Doesn't have to be
Yeah,
anything
sure.
big. You could just say he went and did that.
Okay.
I just want it to be on his marker. It's a personal marker of his pilgrimage.
Fair enough.
Yeah, right. Well, and she kind of points into the general direction. You keep going down there, and then you make like kind of a sharp turn to the right, and then down the street a little bit more, and then you'll see a sign that has a tree on it. You've gone too far.
Understood. I will be back in less than an hour.
All right. So,
And I will have all my supplies ready by then as well.
all right.
We'll meet you at the gate.
We'll meet you there. And
Alright.
he heads off and does that.
All right.
All right,
So,
good. I'm letting that run nuts.
So while everyone else is going off to get the horse and the cart ready, we won't necessarily spend a long time on it, but we will spend at least a moment. Because it's it's just a thing Ludviek is doing that seems important to him, so.
Oh, okay.
So
I was saying you didn't have to, but okay.
I want to, though. I want to give you your moments. If you're going to go out of your way for it, might as well give it its spotlight, even if just for a bit. So, it doesn't take you long, because you've kind of come to grow very familiar with the aesthetic employed in Sunan chapels. There's sort of this temple square sort of situated on the southern side of the wall that surrounds the palace with the garrison towers. There's a sort of plaza just off its southern end where there are 4 distinct shrines or temples. Rather, 3 actually. Valn doesn't typically get big, extravagant things like that. You see, sort of directly across from each other, you see Suna's temple, first and foremost, is the one that catches your eye. It's very beautiful. Every temple of Suna you've ever seen is an extremely homely structure. They never build with stone. They're always built out of wood and wreathed in vines and flowers and plants and herbal growths, many of which have numerous medicinal properties that practitioners of Suna's teachings are intimately familiar with. You immediately spot several with which you are very familiar, having learned their names and their properties during your tutelage. You see some lavender and recite in the back of your head, useful for sleep, good for relaxation, doesn't necessarily make the best tea. Or aloe vera, good as a painkiller, helps promote healing. It doesn't taste great to a lion's tongue. And several others that do not have earthen contemporaries. Sort of framed over the sort of open air archway that leads into sort of the central sort of nave where worship is held, you see this sort of contained within a circular shape, this carved depiction of Suna, beautiful human woman with a wreath of flowers and antlers, accompanied by a saber-toothed wildebeest of sorts, accompanying her at her side. Stepping in, it's very warmly lit. There are a handful of individuals within. Light is provided by the natural world outside. Again, it's a very open-aired space. There's a couple of sort of maintained waterways to the left and right, sort of framing everything with this very soothing ambience. An altar at the very back, with a donation bowl, of course.
All right. As he enters, he would put 1 gold piece in the donation thing. And then he would make his way up to the front of the altar there to say a prayer.
All right.
Mostly be a silent one, not an out loud one. Mostly he's just thanking for patience and asking for continued guidance on being sure to, mostly to protect those who need protection, make sure the laughter of children continues, and to make sure that all life can continue on this world, no matter how dark someone might fall to it, that he just makes sure that life can continue.
All right.
For all, as happy as they can be.
All right. Spend those few minutes sort of in quiet contemplation. And then when you feel you've conveyed your thoughts well enough, sort of open up your eyes, give the symbol of Suna emblazoned on the back wall sort of a small nod, and stand and make your way out.
At the back of his mind, he's still, while he has said his prayers, he's still thinking about the violence that he had to give to the bandits and the few that did have to die. Thinking, just if there was more he could have done, or if he did just what was needed. It still plagues him.
It is one of those things that sort of slows your steps a bit as you're walking, just this gentle sort of hesitation, because you know your oaths. You haven't broken them, you haven't violated them, you're staying true to what it is you wish to do as part of this order, but you also just consciously are aware there is that divide between you and the way most Sunans practice. Most are pacifists. Most will never resort to violence except as an absolute last resort, and even then would do so with shame. Few carry weapons. Generally, it's considered the purview of the Junans to administer protection or justice. It's the Sunans' job to provide mercy and compassion and comfort, no matter who is on the receiving end. It's just a dichotomy, I guess. A tiny conflict of what you do by necessity and what you do it for. But you've held true this long. You're not going to falter now. Especially not when you've left good things in your wake, no matter how red-tinted a bit of it might have been. So, sort of keeping that resolve internalized, you lift your head high and return to your friends at the Green Gate waiting for you.
Where's that gold? There we go. All right. Well, thank you.
All right.
Yes. After he leaves, he just, thought what you said, and he holds his head high with a smile, and then goes to meet his team.
All right. So,
Well,
Already done?
all
Yes.
right.
Everything he sits.
Let's go.
all right. Alrighty then. So, with that in mind, you have your new horse hooked up to your wagon. Everything's set. The gate stands open and the road beckons. Let's see here. Generally speaking, how do most DMs, do you reckon, handle travel speed when you have a mount with a wagon? Like, I've been sort of frantically looking and I can't find a table for travel speed with horse and cart. So I was figuring I'd just round up to the fast-paced travel speed, so you'd be covering 30 miles a day instead of 24.
Yeah, I'd say faster and
Makes sense.
Because
Yeah.
not everybody is on the cart.
Yeah, everybody does it a little bit different depending on how much can fit in the cart. I've had DMs who do a combination of, if everyone can fit in, it's all the speed, and you don't take as much exhaustion over the time as well, if people were keeping track of exhaustion levels.
About, I would say about 3 miles per hour is
So that's the same as an average human walking speed.
more or less, yeah. It's just more comfortable in
Still,
that you're...
just to mechanically reward the fact that you did blow some money, I'll round us up to a fast travel pace. Not necessarily with the penalties of not being able to sneak or anything like that, just you're moving a little faster because you got a wagon.
All right.
All right. So,
And we'll have storage for the future.
indeed. I'd say you've got, let's see here. I'd say you're leaving a little after lunch, so I'd say you guys are probably leaving at around 2:30. It is the middle of summer. So, or, like early half of, like middle half of summer, so, so you've got plenty of hours of daylight. So, with that in mind then, sort of getting a somewhat late start, we'll say you can get about 20 miles up the road. At least on this first day of travel.
Perfect.
So,
All right.
so you begin making your way up the road.
No. Oh, sorry.
What?
I didn't
You forgot.
save on my notes.
Oh, no.
Exited out. No. All right, it's fine. It's fine. I'll cry about it later.
No. Hold on. This must be done. I know I'm a hypocrite for this, but F's in the chat.
I know.
All right.
I know.
So
I clicked it as soon as it. Ugh.
it's sad, but yeah. So following the road northward for the remainder of this beautiful sunlit day, the sort of rocky-ish foothills that you've been sort of not embezzled, but sort of surrounded by for the last several weeks, finally begin to smooth out and start to sort of gently recede before you as forestation becomes increasingly abundant and clear. And the land sort of unravels down before you as you sort of come out from the top of one of the smaller sort of bluffs that you've been following the road, and just see for miles around you as the sun is starting to set, the forest of 1,000 rivers just sprawling out for miles and miles, far as the eye can see. This mismatched sort of collection of various different types of trees, from firs and oaks and a fine mixture of coniferous and evergreens scattered, like someone took 2 different shakers, one of salt, one of pepper, poured them both into a cup and just shook the shit out of it. Even from this distance, you can faintly pick up on the smell of the various types of trees mingling and the calls of wildlife as they're starting to, mark out their territories or declare that the hunt is on for the night, or whatever reasons some animals might have for their calls and their cries. You find a nice, comfortable place to stop and rest for the night under a sort of a mangled collection of trees that look like they grew into each other, sort of coiled unto amongst themselves, and created this almost sort of natural arch just a little bit off the road that could provide some shelter from rainfall. You pull over, and is anyone paying attention to butterscotch?
I am.
I could.
I'm just.
Actually, who was driving? That is the question.
Me.
I assume Boron, because he has proficiency with the vehicles.
Correct.
All right. Well then. If Ludviek is keeping an eye on butterscotch, you can give me an animal handling check.
Just a passive eye.
Yeah, passive eye. All you can really glean, she seems to be happy to be moving.
Maybe she's just tired of being cooped up.
Maybe. Either way, though. So, you find your nice little place to set up and camp for the night. You tuck in for a rest. Are there any conversations that wish to happen during this night?
I want to play a game with you all.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yes, a fun little game. Get to know each other a little bit more, I guess. If that's too much of an ask. One truth.
I'm down.
All right.
Fine.
Now, usually someone prepares a spell of some sort to put this on. Kari, do you have any truth?
Huh?
Truth spells. She's asking if someone knows Zone of Truth.
Yes.
Would you be a deer
yes.
and cast it if you have it prepared?
Sure.
Right.
There we go.
There we
All
go.
right, so you utter a few. It takes a bit. You sort of start uttering the incantation, sort of designating an area where truths will be more compelled than deceptions. Sort of, you kind of have to spell out the parameters of the spell very carefully in your wordage. So it takes a bit of time to sort of spell it out. But I guess whoever wishes to participate in this little game, I guess, can just choose to fail the Zone of Truth. Otherwise, you step out of the effect.
Otherwise, you walk away.
I was about to say, I feel like Minnove should have, because there's a difference between let's play a game of truth and then saying you are now all forced to tell the truth.
Well, no, hang on.
Extra layer of consent there.
Minnove has some stuff to this. So, this is a game of truth where we can tell nothing but the truth and anything but the truth.
Wait, and anything but the truth.
Well, shut up, okay? Sorry, that was too truthful. I apologize. Slipped out.
Wait, so then we can lie.
Well, no, we can't lie. That's the
But
problem.
you just said we could.
Listen. Anyways, it was a slip of the tongue. Either or. We
Are
can
you
only
saying
tell
I
the
didn't
truth.
cast this well?
I will kick you out of your own goddamn spell. So, if you guys do not feel comfortable answering the question, just feel free to tap the rock right in front of us and she'll pull over like a rock. You don't have to answer it. You're more than welcome to make it sound like a riddle. That's part of the fun. And just simple lighthearted questions, like nothing like any past lovers or any debts or anything, or who you've killed. Just fun, like childhood questions, I guess. Like here's a good one that always starts it off real fun. What got you all started to travel on your adventures? Just in the beginning. No, you don't have to talk all at once.
I guess it's just a matter of we kind of skipped figuring out who was volunteering and who was bowing out.
I mean, who wants you can join and you don't have to, but
I mean,
I think it's fairly evident with a couple of us what the situation is.
well, I mean more or less like the start of your travel, like before this. What brought you onto the road? What
I
yearns you
think
to...
it's fairly obvious with a couple
Okay.
of us what
No,
this
no.
situation is.
Well, tell me, what do you travel about? Why do you walk?
Have you heard of something called the yearning?
Well, yes, I have. Tuki told
there
me
you
about
go.
it.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
Okay, well, other than that, like, is
It's-
there anything...
No.
Very straightforward.
I mean, if you want a more in-depth answer, the reason I am here is because the island I lived on, the only way I could think to quiet it even a little bit was to just walk, and unfortunately I have set foot on every inch of my home island, and once I started seeing repeat sights, it wasn't enough to calm it at all anymore.
Minnove kind of looks over and smiles. See, Kari, is it that hard? Thank you,
What?
Tuki, for sharing.
I always wondered, do you really need to walk, or could you just, like, be on a ship's crew? Would that be enough
that's
for
a
this
good-
yearning thing?
It's a good question. Is it the sense of movement, or is it the actual acting of moving?
I don't know when this game turned into just me.
True. You know what? We're picking on Tuki. Tuki answered quite fairly. It's not Tuki's turn anymore. We can't pick on Tuki. That's not the point of the game.
So is the point of the game that now Tuki asks someone else a question?
Yes.
Okay.
It's kind of like truth or dare, kind of, but truth.
Truth or truth.
It's truth or not. Got you.
Truth or
Yeah.
just chicken.
Truth
what
or
are the
ch-
rules?
Yes, we probably should have laid those out before we began.
Just be respectful. Everybody's
Okay.
telling their truths.
But what are the rules?
That's
Well,
that's the conduct, not the rules.
The question. So you ask the question to somebody that you want to answer from,
Yes.
They have to give it the truthful answer, or they can back out if they don't feel comfortable with it.
Okay.
They don't have to say it. They can even make a riddle of it if they want you to keep you guessing.
But
And since
And then that person can ask someone else a question, and it just goes in
exactly,
circles until
Yeah,
we all
and-
get bored.
basically that or until the spell runs out.
Go for it.
Yeah, yeah.
if you can just be a riddle about it, why have the spell?
Because it's so fun.
Okay.
It means coming from the heart in some way.
So that means then Tuki asks someone a question, then?
Yes, it's Tuki's turn. Tuki was very brave in asking or answering the first question.
I think it's just mostly I'm not used to people asking that far. Ask initially and then they get uncomfortable and change the topic.
Nah, that's the point of the game. Be uncomfortable with your answers. Sit and wallow.
Go ahead, Tuki. Ask me anything.
Or me.
Alright. Well, don't really know what to ask. Ludviek, how did you come to worship Suna? I guess I wouldn't have thought that was too common.
Well, short answer. I found an elk.
That is quite short.
To make it a much longer answer, I had removed myself from my village for a time. Story behind that is also quite long. The point was I was searching for something. Answers, mostly. And I had gotten quite, well, been quite a while since I'd been able to find food. I was near delirious and near starvation. And one night, or one day actually, an elk just happened to wander up to me. Right there. Just, I mean, I didn't think I had somehow gone soft as a hunter, but it was against every part of nature I'd ever seen before. This beast of prey just coming up to me in an hour of need, as if it was allowing itself to be nourishment for me. I had heard of Suna before. There was actually it was Jorna. Was she a priestess, a paladin, or as well?
Priestess. She was a priestess. She would be classified
Yeah.
as a cleric if we were picking a class.
Okay. She was a priestess of Suna, who actually I'd met not too long before. And I saw this as a sign of Suna herself. A bounty. A gift. To continue on. And so, I killed the beast, ate, regained my strength. And I realized that Suna was calling me to do something. To help others. To bring the gift of life to everyone else in the world. Now, of course, I know that stories might sound a bit strange to many. Heck, many have said it was merely just a coincidence. Maybe I even ate a sick elk. And maybe I'm a little sick in my head now as well. But I truly saw that as Suna herself speaking to me. And since then, I've been living in her service, trying to repay, well, not so much to repay at that. Maybe.
Pay it forward.
Yeah, exactly, Donald. Thank you. That is the term.
Within the confines of the game, are other people allowed to ask follow-up questions just for clarification? Minnove?
As long as the one who's being asked the question doesn't feel like they're being picked on. Yes.
All right. I'm just curious. Before I'm not as well versed in the traditions and the cultures of Rythar as I probably should be, in my family. But I'm given to understand that Rythar traditions and culture and spiritual values are radically different generally from what is practiced in human civilizations. You don't follow the Penta necessarily most of the time. So I guess I'm just curious. Was it an easy transition? Did you...
No, I can say it was not a very easy transition, as you might say. I lived my life just believing in one thing for quite a while. In fact, actually, when I first met Jonah herself, I was actually quite dismissing of her beliefs itself. I thought them... Well, I didn't think them totally outlandish, but I thought them quite strange. Quite different before. It wasn't until I experienced that, what I told you about, that I started to think on it more. I guess experience is what really changes a man's beliefs.
Just one more question, just because this kind of thing is actually fascinating to me. Is there any overlap, do you think, between the order you're part of now, the Sunan beliefs and the Rythari ones you came from?
I do believe so. I still practice in many ways things that many say are almost what is word? Anathema? A negative of a Sunan. Sunans do not usually go to combat. They're pacifist. They do not actually fight. But I do. I say this is a bit of my old ways. I'd say it's a way I try to bring Suna's light and love to others.
Thank you.
It's really beautiful there, Ludviek.
Oh, well, thank you. Although I do admit, it is quite an... to many think it's quite an odd tale. But I've heard enough from me. I believe I have to ask a question now myself.
Yeah.
So, what
Go
would
for
be...
it.
What would be a good thing? Boron, question for you.
All right.
What got you into being a man-at-arms? One who is skilled in so many different ways of combat. I know my hammer, I know my shield, but you know far more than that.
Not that much more. My father, actually, he was a mercenary, and when he was in our village, he taught me how to fight, and I was pretty good at it. I was not very well liked in my village, but I worked for them, and it worked for a time, but eventually I had to get going, and I joined a mercenary group, and a different one, and yet a different one, and it eventually turned out that I traveled the circuit alone, joining different orders, combat groups, mercenaries. I made a good living.
Interesting. It's very, very, very admirable of you there, but can't imagine you being disliked. sorry. Gallows humor.
Is
Whoops.
that what that was?
Thank you.
I don't know anymore. I just make a mean joke and then I say gallows humor at the end of it.
It makes sense.
It's an interesting way to disarm it, at the very least.
You keep using that term. I do not believe you know what that term means.
I learned what you were there when I learned the term.
And I still don't believe you know what it means.
No idea, but I laugh at it every time.
All right. One thing I want to ask. Kari, you said you lost a lot of money. Where did you get that?
Ooh.
I just had it.
Well, that's
So,
How
what
do
you
you-
do for a living? What makes you so much money?
That's a fascinating question.
That's why I'm asking.
What have I done for a living? I haven't done much for a living, if I'm going to be honest.
Seems like a profitable occupation.
If you don't mind my asking, as a follow-up, are you like the son of some sort of noble?
No.
Fair, straight to the point.
But some other rich family, probably.
Oh, yes.
I mean, just look at those silk, that beautiful absolute shirt he's got.
Looks expensive.
Do you think so?
I mean, look what I'm wearing.
Yes, but I just thought that was. Well, I wasn't going to say anything, but.
Well, this is your time to say it. We're in the tourist circle then, Kari.
Have you washed your clothes?
Of course I've washed them.
We just visited your home and your family, and you didn't once change.
Nor did you.
I have an excuse. I was not home.
Well, are you?
To be
Is this you
fair, we
asking
spent
me a
most of the
question?
morning unconscious.
Is this you asking me a question, or are you wanting to ask a different question to somebody else?
No, I'm not asking you
Okay.
a question.
At least not within
You did that.
the confines of the game, at least.
Yeah. I'm just making sure. I have a quick follow-up question to that then. Connected to you as well.
Yes.
As a fellow player of instruments, what makes you what inspired you? What was your first muse? First inspiration? These are very difficult questions there, Kari.
He's going to sit back and he does not have a beard, but he's going to do that kind of slow thinking, like chin pet. You know that. You know when people just kind of pet their own beard when they're thinking.
Yeah, we know.
He's going to do the Kraven equivalent of that. He's going to say, "What is my muse? Well, from a very young age, I remember having a viola thrust into my hands and playing that. But, And I suppose I play, my father played, his father played, and his father played. I suppose it's just deriving some sort of personal fulfillment out of the act of creating music. And less of being inspired by anything outside of my own heart.
I think this is the hardest Kari has had to think about something since this campaign started.
Shut up, God, I'm thinking.
Told you.
Hey, you're nailing it. I love this.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, I already know where you're typing and what you're typing.
That's going out of context.
Well, I suppose my muse is amusement. Plucking the string amuses me. The reactions of those around amuse me.
Oh. Very
The-
insightful.
I mean, it's not very difficult at all. You just pick it up and you just strum. He's gonna just do a few strums. He says, and yet people just find that so fascinating. And I'm like, oh my goodness, how much time and effort did you put in it? I put no time and effort into it. You just pick it up and you just go. But no, everyone seems to think it's some huge big thing when it's not. And there's just amusement in the fact that everyone seems to be so inept and lazy about it, and so impressed with something so simple.
In
You
fairness,
understand what I
it's...
mean, Minnove?
Well, not to the same extent that you are. I had to learn my instrument through my mother. But I picked it up in due time. And once I picked it up, then it just happened.
I see. Donald,
I think you're just some
believe,
sort of prodigy.
I believe I interrupted you, Donald.
I was just going to point out that, in fairness, for most people, it's not an easy thing to just pick up an instrument and play. Sounds to me like you were very gifted with it. Most people don't have that. You got lucky.
I suppose. Anyway, how about, we're gonna roll a D4.
Why not a D5? Donald is part of this too.
Because a D5 isn't, oh wait, I guess technically, because a
You can just
D5
do-
isn't an option.
You
Well, you
can
can just do
slash
slash
R1D5.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can
no,
type it
pick a
into the
number.
chat as a command, and you can do slash R2428, and it'll roll you a 2,428 sided die. It just picks a
Wow.
random number.
Okay, so Minnove's 1, Boron's 2, Tuki's 3, Donnell's 4, and Ludviek's 5. Let's go.
1.
Okay. But I think that's enough about me. So, no.
Yes.
What prompted you to
begin this inane little game of yours.
I mean,
There's a
fair
sound of
enough.
truth, and he's not a big fan of this.
He can just turn it off too. That's the funny part.
He's the one maintaining the spell. He can turn it off whenever.
Well, I've traveled a lot. Not as frequently as Tuki, or as far as Tuki, or as distant as Ludviek did, or anyone here for the matter.
I think we're just gonna use Tuki as the example.
Tuki. Tuki's moved a long fucking way there. But I mostly stayed in Valerie for most of my life. You go on traveling groups. I've been in a few like this. Just in between towns, going place to place. And one of the other magic bearers, the ring bearers, in one of the groups that I brought, had a little sick, twisted sense of humor, and wanted to be for a reason to interrogate one of the party members that they had brought along that they believed was hiding something from them. It was pretty some deep shit, let me tell you. It was like murder and a lot. I wasn't part of that for much longer. But I thought, it's a fun way to get to know people that you're traveling with. If we're going to be traveling for the next, at least 4 more days, I should know you all, I think, in some personal matter. Unless you want to keep it strictly professional, and I can be very business. But it's a way for me to get to know you, and you to get to know me, and know that there's nothing, no strings attached, no man behind the curtain.
I don't think you have a single business bone in your body.
I could be very businessy. That's
That
a
just
lie.
proves
I'm
you
sorry.
don't.
I
Just
I can't lie.
Although Minnove the merchant does have quite a ring to it.
Oh, I'd be a killer merchant, but I'd also be too soft, too giving, and
they'd walk all over you.
oh, most certainly. Hell, I would have given Percy all I fucking had.
Extremely compassionate, though not necessarily wise. Yes.
No, quite naive, I'm told. Stupid. Uncle Bob used to say that. Not that I was stupid, but just that I was naive, gullible. I used to get into a lot of trouble in Antarine. It was quite easy for me to get in trouble in Antarine. So.
I see.
Yeah. I suppose, I will ask. I'm gonna ask either Tuki or Donal, since Tuki didn't really get an answer. I want to ask Tuki, because Tuki kind of didn't really have a
He's
deep
like,
rooted.
why me? Why is it me?
Why me?
Stop
Why are you
talking to me.
bullying me?
Only the bird.
Now I gotta think of a question. Oh, this is so hard. How do you all do this? The pressure's so on.
It's just you're the one to blame.
I so am, absolutely.
I can offer
Yeah.
suggestion if need be.
I think I might have an idea.
All right.
So, you are quite expert in finesse. Seen your footwork, your sword work, your finger work, your throw. you, you're throwing. Hold on.
Minnove's throwing so hard right now.
I just
I'm
want that
sorry,
archer.
a
I want that
very
archer meme to pop up.
dandelion
Grazing.
seed just went up my nostril.
Minnove's face goes bright red as she says that.
It's like
It's already
second
red.
time.
It just starts glowing.
Second time today.
What?
Second time she accidentally innuendoed something.
I didn't.
Either or.
The first time was when she was making those insulted gasps back at the tavern, and it rather sounded like something else.
Either or. Tuki, where'd you learn all your finesse, your expertise, your cunning? What, like, or is that too much of a sensitive question?
Not sensitive, just it leads to a lot of assumptions. But I am very self-taught.
Very fair, very fair.
Leislan is not kind to Graben.
No.
I did already mention I was a pretty easy target. My condition was amusing to a lot of people. So, I started learning how to pick locks, scale walls, so that wouldn't be trapped. Of course, that led to allegations of me being a thief for having these talents. And so I had to learn to defend myself. Really just survival.
As someone else who's had allegations on them for being mean-spirited. I understand. So, any
guess-
follow-up questions, or shall we ask Donald a good old question if Donald wants to participate in our little game?
Oh, please, I've been sitting here waiting for it to be my turn. I've been sitting over here listening to you all have your fun, and I honestly, sometimes I feel like you forget that I'm here.
No, you're here.
I guess it means
Actually-
Tuki is the one who should ask the question.
I actually have had a question.
Shoot.
I know that you mentioned that you were doing some investigating, but who were you before we met you?
Well, that's an interesting question because I'm not actually sure how much I'm allowed to say. Basic version, then. I imagine you've probably clocked it, but my family is at least to some degree wealthy. I'm not sure I'd say we're on the level of just carrying around 1,000 coins of disposable change with us at any given time, but my father is in a fairly high-ish position, and there is a very decent chance that when he either dies or retires, whichever comes first, I bet die, again, the man is very stubborn, that the family operation will have to pass to me at some point. And I fully plan to do that. But it's also one of those rules that leaves you stuck in one place for a long time. And I wanted to appreciate the other half of the job before I had to be belted down to my family's half of it.
That's quite fascinating.
Is that part of why you don't spread your surname very far?
Ah, you caught that,
I mean-
did you?
I know you told us, but I noticed it was not in the guest book at the inn.
Yeah. Well, I just, on the grounds that I've been missing for a while, I imagine that Father's probably put out feelers and people looking for me, and that also means that there are people who would take advantage of that to demand a higher price off from my head in the form of a ransom. So I figure keep it to first names only for the time being, and that'll decrease the odds of someone wanting to do that. It's partly to protect myself, but also to keep the rest of you from having to deal with any more trouble on my behalf. You saved my life, so I don't want to cause you any grief.
Very thoughtful of you there, Donald.
The truth be told, when I was investigating what was going on in Canola's Rest, I say that was me enjoying the other half of the job. Truth be told, I just got curious about a mystery and stuck my nose where it didn't belong and got all of my just desserts for it. Generally speaking, investigating misconduct of the Cadams and their ministers and barons or what have you doesn't fall under my family's jurisdiction. That's more the operation of people in the garrisons or the mage knights. That's not something my family should be doing. I just got adventurous and reckless and stupid and did not heed the wisdom I'm supposed to have. I leapt before I looked, and I got in trouble for it, essentially.
But even though it is outside of the realm of your family's duties, you can say you were doing it for selfish reasons. But even then, it did lead you to discover that there was indeed impropriety. Or, it is correct word, right? Impropriety? Done by, that woman.
I mean, sure, but I was hardly the first, and as evidenced by the existence of the lot of you, I was not going to be the last. Here's the thing, you all would have shown up in there regardless of if I'd been caught or not. And let's be honest with ourselves, when I was down there with you after you unhooked me from that wall, I was basically useless because Veronica had a bad habit of changing her puzzles all the time. So what I managed to work my way through is not what you all had to deal with.
But your advice did come invaluable many times. You at least knew an idea of how that woman worked, how she thought, what she was like. And even knowing a little bit about your enemy, your hunt, your prey, is half the battle.
I suppose so. Well. At the end of the day, I can take absolutely none of the credit for bringing her down. That's all of you.
The other half is extreme violence.
What?
When needed. When needed.
Donald just gives you a glance.
And a rampaging bear.
True, bear does help.
I still don't know how the hell you managed to pull that one off.
Actually, that gives me idea. We have heard from everyone here, but there is one of our party we have yet to hear the truth from. You were saying earlier, Boron, that the mayor was acting quite strange. Would you like to know what is on her mind? Ludviek just gives a little bit of a smile.
We're bringing the horses.
Right! You could talk to the bear, you can talk to the horse. Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, okay, go for it.
I tried to do it.
Yeah.
Alright, we're gonna cast
Kari
ourselves.
tried very unsuccessfully.
Alright, so, Ludviek, you stand up, pull out your ring stone, utter a few words, and make that sort of a mental connection with Butterscotch that just breaks down the language barrier and allows the communication of concepts and ideas and just basic intentions. Nothing complicated, nothing elaborate. She is still just a horse. But enough to, at the very least, understand what she's thinking.
Yeah, probably not as smart as like a wolf or something. But Enough to understand, yeah. Alright. So, Boron, Kari. Well, actually, Kari. You were trying to say something to her earlier, I believe is what you told me on the way here. Do you want to apologize?
What did I say?
No.
I'm sorry.
Butterscotch.
That was
keeps
joke. that was well, it's me. I'm the one who's gonna have to do the interpreting. But no. I was joke. It was joke. No. But no, Boron, anyone. Was there anything you wanted to ask? We have 10 minutes.
Is she happy to be on the road again?
I shall do that. Hello, Butterscotch. How are you feeling now that you are on the road again?
The communication you get back is somewhat perplexed, but the general vibe, the communicated concept is this sort of relief to be out of that stable, relieved to not have that smelly, hairy, short thing touching her feet all the time, but still uncomfortable because of the pain in her feet.
Oh.
She says she has pain in her feet. You were said to work well with animals, Boron. Perhaps you might be able to take a closer look. I say then to Butterscotch. My other short, hairy, but not smelly friend here might be able to see what is wrong with your hooves. Would you let him look? I do say he is quite trustworthy.
Make a persuasion check.
All right.
And as you're making that persuasion check, at least on the first point, Butterscotch will say, no, you all smell.
Can I cast guidance on this?
You can.
He didn't.
Yeah, I haven't rolled yet, so.
Yes, I'll cast guidance to give you an extra D4 onto that.
All right, let's hope I get a good regular one.
Oh.
Okay, yeah. You know what? We're just gonna. I have to use it or lose it anyway. So.
Yeah.
23
Okay,
total.
23.
All right. So you say that to Butterscotch, and she gives Boron and you kind of these sort of side eyes for a second, and just and basically communicates that she'll permit Boron to look, but if she feels any spikes of pain, she's gonna start kicking things. You're getting a vibe of Butterscotch's personality as a feisty one.
All right, bit of a firecracker. All right.
Kinda, yeah. It's like respect her personal space, or she will not respect your face.
Ooh. Well, I have proficiency. Now, Boron's the one who's going to be doing the roll, but I also have proficiency in animal handling. Could I assist him?
You could assist him and give him advantage, yes.
Then I would like to do that.
Could I give
I would
bardic
probably.
inspiration?
Oh man.
We have two bards. Both of you could give bardic inspiration, technically.
And I can also give guidance again.
You can do that. You can also do that. It's like, what, 2d8 and a 1d4? If you want to do all of that?
Actually, it's D6.
It's a cantrip. You just keep on doing it.
I can just do it whenever.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
give me.
Yeah, let's.
So it's a
Let's.
D6 and a D4 from me.
Yeah, you're also gonna do.
And
Oh
I'm
my
gonna
God.
need it. And I'm gonna need it.
Wow.
Also for me too. And
Oh my
Wait a
gosh.
sec.
Boron
Yeah.
It's like
getting
Snake
all the
Eyes.
buffs.
Sheesh. That was 2 3s that I rolled.
Jesus.
So,
All right, I'll roll 2d6 and a d4 then to add to this.
how do you do that?
Just
Roll
roll 2d6
2d6.
first, and then roll a d4 afterward.
Roll 2d6 and 1.
Whoa.
That's not great.
Come on, D4. Come on, D4. Oh.
Not quite right.
Yeah.
That was a star
Man,
sign.
the dice are being mean today.
3. Okay,
Man.
so that
Okay,
is
okay.
that's a 12.
That's not as bad as
Could
a
have
5.
gone- It could have gone better.
So, investigating Butterscotch's hoof. I'll treat this as like you get it, but like she is gonna kick you in the face when you find it, or try to at least.
Right.
So you find, sort of investigating the hoof that she kept jerking back from the stable master earlier. You find that there is, it's very extraordinarily like subtle, but you can actually see that there's like sort of like where the keratin of her hoof transitions into like the muscle of the rest of her foot and leading into her ankle, of fetlock, and the rest of her leg. There's like just this like a tiny little hole,
Ew.
like slightly
What is
swollen.
that?
Like you find it and it's like, what's that? And like absentmindedly, not really thinking about it, kind of like your thumb kind of brushes over it. At which point, Ludviek, you hear Butterscotch's sentiment basically being, "Ow!" And Butterscotch is going to attempt to kick you in the face. I
All right.
don't have a horse
Give it
stat
to
block on hand. Never mind, I have
The
a
draft
horse.
horses.
I have a draft.
Draft horses are strong.
Okay. Well, so this will be 1d20 plus. That is a +6 to hit for. It didn't consume my +6. Let's so that'll be a total
So
of
it's a
9. That'll be a 9 to hit, which does not hit you.
Ooh.
So like she like jerks her hoof and tries to kick you in the face, and you sort of scramble back.
I immediately to her afterwards. Sorry, but I think he found something though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a weird hole there. Don't think I've seen anything like that before. Maybe an infestation?
Which would you like, Skij? Medicine or animal handling? Both I'm proficient in. Actually, medicine's better, but
I'll say for this, medicine, but you could do
Again.
animal handling, whichever you think is better.
Oh, I was about to give you. Can I give guidance after the fact? And
I'll
that's-
my last
allow
verdict?
it. I'll allow
Oh,
it. You're
wait.
not in a rushed situation.
wait. It lasts up to 1 minute, and after you use it, then it ends. Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought it lasted for a minute. I didn't realize. I'm sorry. I read
No,
that
I
wrong.
have to like touch you every time that you use it.
Every time. Gotcha. Okay. So 14.
14. All right, investigating the hoof a little bit. 13-minute warning, by the way. Investigating the hoof a little bit with that 14 total medicine check. You're not necessarily familiar with what is causing this, but it looks like maybe some, like Boron said, some manner of infestation. Nothing enormous. It's clearly not causing her enough discomfort to stop her from walking or being feisty, but that, like, you do notice, now that you're actually kind of paying attention, she is taking the weight off her hoof a little bit more than all her others, like leaning her weight sort of on her other 3 hooves, occasionally just lifting this hoof up.
Infestation, so like a parasite or something.
Something. It's obviously not causing her immense distress, but it is giving her a sore foot, so.
I think parasites can be cleared by anything that removes disease.
Guess who spent all of their lay on hands this morning?
Actually, lay on hands doesn't actually work for disease. It only works with poison.
But you do have a thing that can clear disease
sure?
as a paladin, I think. Pretty sure one of your abilities can. Isn't it like one of your channel divinities?
It better work on disease, otherwise Tuki still has tetanus.
Wait. Sorry. Okay.
He's had tetanus this entire time.
Right. No, sorry. You're right. I forgot it does because shit. Okay. Sorry. I spent so long on another game doing it where that wasn't the case. My brain went back to that. I'm sorry. I'm
It's
saying
okay.
shit. I don't know what I'm saying.
It's okay.
Okay. Well, I can wait till the morning then at least.
Here, let me help. Gonna cast sleep on the horse.
What?
Why?
So she falls asleep. So she falls asleep and is not in pain.
Okay.
All right. Well, I communicate. It's like, well, make sure you rest well tonight. In the morning, I will make Hoof better.
That sounds incredibly handy.
What?
All right.
What
All right.
does?
That
Alright.
spell.
Oh,
Sleep spell. Yeah.
would you like to try it?
Maybe.
All right. Just stand in the AOE of the horse.
Just-
I assume you
Alright,
have
well-
enough spell slots to cast it again.
Yeah, I do. I haven't used any spells today. All right,
Okay.
Tuki, if it would help you rest.
I mean, I suppose when.
Oh, actually, yeah. Okay, I'll wait till they're asleep. Actually, I just realized I could actually figure what it is right away.
Oh.
I'll wait till.
I'll wait until Tuki is okay for me to put her to sleep.
Okay, well then it's like, okay, so the horse is asleep now. It's like, this will actually make this next part easier.
Ah, you had that one prepared?
Yes. Yes.
Good. Nice.
I have that one and a couple others. I do have a question for you after this, but I've only used 2 spells today, so it works out fine.
All right. All right. So parasites count as diseases in this system, I guess, then. So what you
I'm hoping it
glean...
does.
I mean, going off of what Sepia said, I'll allow it. So...
Oh, it says
Use-
poisonous creature, or disease. So,
All right.
poisonous creature.
So, using this spell on the hoof while Butterscotch is just kind of dozing, you don't necessarily have a name for it, but you do confirm beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is something that has sort of found this little gap in her hoof. Like, it seems like the gap in the hoof's keratin was already there. So, or whatever hooves are made of. I think it's keratin. I might be using the wrong material here. But there had already been like a little gap or a chip, just some sort of slight break in the hoof. Nothing that would debilitate the beast, but enough that this creature was able to slip in and make itself at home. You don't get any like strong vibes from it. It very much gives you the impression of a very subdued parasite. The type of parasite that knows not to kill its host to get the most mileage out of it. So, it sets itself up, takes what it needs, but it doesn't cause too many problems or it'll kill its host and by extension itself, so. But whether or not it's a worm or a beetle or a slug or some sort of fly, you don't know. You don't have eyes on it.
Kind of sounds like a maggot.
Mm.
Of course, I'm throwing real world comparisons in here, so.
Maybe.
It's like, well, it is, whatever it is not a gigantic threat. It can be dealt with in the morning, after some good rest from all of us.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
She's sleeping like a horse.
Well, who's going to be taking first watch then?
Well,
I suppose I can.
Then I will take second.
All right.
Bird.
I'm gonna be knocking Tuki out with sleep, apparently.
Yeah.
So Tuki, you rest.
Okay. Is everybody sure?
I mean, if you need the
No.
sleep,
Yeah, you've non-stop been walking.
and I have noticed you're extremely restless when you're trying to lie down, so you could probably do with the aid.
All right.
It'll be very easy. I'm told it's very nice. Just slip in and you
Maybe
slip out.
lie down first, though.
Yes. You will hit
Alright.
your head.
All right. So,
She does look very stiff and uncomfortable, but she does like
all right.
lay down.
Minnove's gonna like kind of sit over her and just kind of cast spell.
All right. So, The sleep spell settles over you, Tuki. I imagine you make no effort to resist it.
Nope.
All right. It hits very quickly. There's this brief moment where, like, something in the back of your mind is like, wait, something's wrong, as you start rapidly dozing off. There's, like, this brief second. Any of you kind of know that sensation where if you lie still long enough, your body would just involuntarily sort of spasm a bit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Usually it's like, it's your body making sure that, hey, hold on, you're still alive, right? Ah, good. When your heart rate slows down a little too much when you're about to fall asleep, it makes your brain panic for a second, so it gives you a little jolt.
Is that the feeling of falling? Sorry.
That's not the sensation of falling asleep necessarily, but it's something that precedes sleep. At least for me, it does. I know it's a thing that can happen, but so Tuki kind of has like a little very brief full body like tense spasm thing before very rapidly relaxing and just drifting off to sleep.
I didn't do it. I didn't cause a spasm. Just sleeping.
That's good.
All right. And with your watches settled and decided, and a little bit more information about each other known, you tuck away your things and settle in for the night. Everyone takes a long rest, and we will pick up next time. Because I have 5 minutes left before I have to get running, so... Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, so much for joining us for this session of Ringlight Fables. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Until then, take care of yourselves, keep listening, and do not be a dick. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well...
Bye.